Hello, it's time to show off my completed December daily. First one ever. Took me a bit longer to get it finished than I thought it would, so I know I'm posting this a little bit late, but still I'm very proud of it. I want to show it off. I won't walk through too much of the beginning of it. I've already got 2 walkthroughs for about the first 18 days of it, so I won't go through those too in depth. Do want to show off a few things that I've added to some of those pages, some sections that I finished off, of course. Cover just the same as we saw last time. Only thing I've added is I put that little cheer banner on the side. I think I'd showed the back cover as well, that I had just done a bit of stamping and a little journal card out that I stamped. So yeah, here's all the fun stuff. So you may remember I talked about I was going to do a little section in here. I've got that finished now, of course. This is one of the interactive elements from the collection, and I have done this with Christmas on the Farm. So if you fold this out, the farm was my great-grandparents' home where we used to go on Christmas Eve, Bestemo and Bestefa. It's Danish for grandmother and grandfather. So I found all sorts of old photos, so taken some of me and my sister with our cousins and Bestefa, and that's one of our uncles, and sitting with our mom and great-grandfather. This is a bunch of my uncles around the table, one of my cousins. And I just wrote down all the things we used to do. So again, just more pictures and lots of writing. But they were really, really special times that form a lot of how I feel about Christmas today. So I wanted to make sure I had those all down. The calendar I'd shown in one of the previous videos, of course, so no changes there. I did do the back here, though. You may remember from my first page, we had done the Lego Advent Calendar. So I just did a nice little series of photos going from top to bottom and then top to bottom of how the calendar progressed. As you can see, we only had a little bit there. By the end of it, we've got a pretty busy play mat. And a nice little close-up of the little Santa that comes with us. We had a lot of fun doing that this year. It was a fun idea. I think that was worth every penny. The background here I've done with some scraps that I still had from the 6x6 paper pad that I then used an edge punch just to give them a little texture there. You'll notice in some of the later elements I usually was using a mix of alphas because, of course, as you get close to the end, you're running out of all the letters you need. So you might have a T in one alpha and an A in another. So couldn't spell Lego Advent Calendar all with the same one, but if I broke up the alphas, I could. This little present here is embossed. My sister had given me some embossing powder and the heat gun you need for it for Christmas, so added a nice little embossed element there. So these pages, again, I will flip through them, but nothing's really changed here. Just the pages that I had completed in the previous walkthroughs. Here and there I may have added another little sticker or a little element if I thought a spot looked empty. But for the most part, I didn't really go back and second guess myself. But it's nice to do the flip through of the completed thing. I have to say, having done this, I am so glad I did. It was definitely a lot of work, but I've never had a full record of my Christmas like this. So I'm really, really glad that I did this. It was worth every moment. I even caught my boyfriend flipping through it, and he never touches my journaling stuff. I think I had up to here done last time I did a video. I believe I talked about, yeah, I remember talking about this little picture that I liked because the flash looked like a star on the tree. So I had done this little envelope up to put a card my grandmother had sent me. Decorated the back of it, just used some enamel dots to make it look like this was tacked down, distressed the edges a little bit. This was just a journaling card in the set. So yeah, let's get into some new pages. This one was, we had done our gift exchange. Me and my best friend both got each other one of the adult coloring books, so we thought it was pretty funny and wanted a picture together of both of us with our books together. So that was fun, and that was all the gifts when I had them wrapped up, and that was the full gift she gave me. So yeah, we just had a nice little gift exchange there. And then the Big Joy page. I love this paper. I had been saving it for a special occasion, and that special occasion was when my sister came home. Yay! So this is a picture of them coming down through the gate at the airport, and let me get the glare off there. That's just a picture of us hanging out at my mother's house that evening. We went out for supper that night and then went back to Mom's. So we got back in the evening. Of course, tired after the traveling. So just so happy. This was a little journaling card that came with the set, of course, and I used a gold paint pen I had to check off all the things I had done by this point in Christmas. So I still hadn't gotten my wrapping done. Still hadn't stuffed the stockings, that kind of thing. So a lot of it we had done already, but just on the back of it, I put a little selfie that we had taken that same evening when she got home, just because I really loved that picture and there wasn't a spot for it on my page, but I thought it was nice to put a little bit about, how happy I am to see her and how much fun we have. So when I got this done, it was actually after Christmas, and during the Boxing Day sales, we bought a fuse tool. So of course I was experimenting with that. So this was originally just a full length spot here. I used the fuse tool to make a little pocket up here to put my date and put some sequins in there. So a little shaker pocket, which I'd never done before. And we also had a lot going on this day. So I actually fused a little flap on here to be able to add some extra space. So that was very fun. That's going to be a fun tool in the future. Yeah, so this day we were at my mother's and decorated her Christmas tree. So I have the picture of the tree, of course, all done up. And Mom had gotten a couple of us decorating the tree together. And then, of course, we made Mom pose with the tree so we could get a picture of her with it, and just a little journaling there. And then also that night, my sister is a chocolatier. So she had brought a bunch of her chocolates home, and I helped her get them boxed up because she had some gifts to give to people, and we wanted to get those done. On the 20th was an awesome day. There was a trampoline park opened up here recently. So we went to the trampoline park. So that's why it's jump around. So again, I've got my little shaker pocket. It's on a piece of glitter paper, as I'm sure you can tell from the light. So we managed to get some pictures of us at the trampoline park. It's hard to tell in the picture, but this is a rock like climbing wall. I've never done one before and I had a really hard time with it, but my best friend was a total cheerleader. Like she did the wall with me and was like, okay, put your hand here, now put your left foot there, you can do it, and like talked me through it and got me. I never would have finished it without her help. So I wanted a picture of that, and that's my sister diving into the foam ball pit. This one we were kind of joking that the pictures of you jumping in the air, it looked like you were being like raised into the sky like the rapture. So not meant to be blasphemous, just was kind of funny. So I said it was off to the rapture. So then we have the big jingle all the way to Moncton. I think I had shown this off before. That's really reflecting there. It's a gold glitter tape. This is the point in the trip at which we started. So the 23rd's included in here. We didn't really go until the 24th, but that's just the way the page is divided up. And honestly, the 23rd was a lot of prep for going to Moncton anyway. So this is jumping ahead a little bit here, the back of this one. On our way to Moncton, we had, it was kind of bad weather, and then all of a sudden there was a break of the clouds and there's this big rainbow, which, was really pretty in and of itself. But when we went around a bend in the highway, it's hard to tell in this picture, but the rainbow actually ended in the middle of the highway. We got to drive right through the end of the rainbow. I've never seen that in my life. So it was really amazing. And where that was part of the actual driving trip, I thought it kind of fit nicely on the divider for the driving. So this actually did happen on the 24th. So it jumps ahead a little bit just on the divider, but it seemed kind of fitting. I just used some distress ink and stamped some snowflakes on the back. This is a Bow Bunny set that I had bought from scrapbook.com and just got to use that. These are Simple Stories letters. I have a set of them that's non-Christmassy. It's all in different colors. These two are actually like a cream color, and I just colored them with a marker so I could finish the rainbow. I stole that idea from my sister. You'll see the same thing in her book, and she did it first. I just copied it. So the 23rd we go back to. My sister and I, we make these gift baskets for our family. Sorry. So we spend an afternoon or an evening packaging everything together, everything we baked, all the jam we make. Those are boxes of Jackie's chocolates, you can see. The last couple of years, we've had to do these in the middle of the night because I was working a really late shift at work and there was no other time. This year, I had the week off, so we actually got to do it in the middle of the day, which was nice. We made a little late trip to Burger King, so I just got John wearing the Burger King hat. It was pretty funny. And then the 24th. So this is why I didn't put the trip up there on this page. We have so much going on Christmas Eve that there's no room to talk about the rainbow. We go to one of my grandmother's house, our Nana's house. This is the current version of the old Christmas at the farm. My great-grandparents are no longer with us, so we go to my grandmother's house now and try and carry out the same tradition. So this is the tree at their house. It's hard to tell from these pictures, but the table is huge, and you probably had about 25 people around the table. It's pretty packed. In some cases, there's 3 bums for 2 chairs. It's pretty cozy, but it's just part of being together. And then this is, again, one of the interactive elements. I actually glued it right onto the page. I used 2-sided tape to stick it right to the page so that you didn't have to pull it out. So that's the picture of my boyfriend. My aunt got voluntold that he was going to be the Christmas elf this year to pass out all the presents, so he had to wear the Christmas elf hat. This is some of us gathered around, and we always sing Christmas carols. My cousin Gus in the corner there, he reads the Bible story, and then we sing Christmas carols. That's why I've got the fa-la-la. And then there's Steve handing out the presents, and that's my grandmother. This was a gift given to her by one of my cousins, or by a couple of my cousins, and it was just a really good picture of Nana, so I just wanted to frame that and kind of emphasize that one. And then the big one, Christmas Day. Again, I had this paper that had a big 25 in the corner, so this was definitely the day to use it. So keep in mind there's a lot of people at my grandmother's on Christmas Day. There's probably about 10 of us there. So we have everything that's under the tree, and then there's this whole other table with just covered in bags and presents as well. So I was just getting some pictures of that, and I carried Christmas onto the back of the page as well because there's just too much going on Christmas for it to be one day. So again, we got some pictures here. My grandparents used to have the old style, like plastic fold out decorations, and we put them up every year and we loved them, and she got rid of them a while ago. But my aunt this year had actually gone on eBay and found a bunch of the old style decorations and put them all up. So we got some pictures of those because we just love them. They're one of those things that I know that they're tacky, but I've always loved them, so it doesn't matter. And this was the perfect place to use one of the interactive elements. I've got the waterfall here, so just going through with pictures of everything that happened, and just so much fun. And again, I just have that glued down, and then I got a little picture of the tree at Steve's parents because we spent the evening with them as well. And Boxing Day, we had Christmas number 3. We had Christmas with my dad and his wife and my stepbrother and his girlfriend and my niece. I've got this little llama here because that evening my sister had given me alcohol markers and was showing me how to use them. So that little llama is one of the things that we made in the picture of the dinner that Rob and Alyssa made for us. And then we went Boxing Day shopping. Everything's closed here on the 26th. In Canada. So we did our shopping on the 27th. Me and Mom and my sister went out, and that's them, comparing outfits. And it was a bit of a snowstorm that day. And so I was walking into Michael's all hunched up to keep the snow out of my coat. And yeah, that wasn't going to keep us from going to Michael's. And that's a picture of the haul. I got a selfie stick. So I was trying to get a picture of me laying next to all the stuff I'd bought, but it didn't really work out. But still, it's my first selfie stick picture, so I kept it. The 28th, we had, and that evening, the 27th, I forgot I had this little flap here. We have this puzzle that we have had since we were kids, and we do it every Christmas. And we've started timing ourselves for the last 5 years or so. So every year we do this puzzle and time ourselves. It was not record setting this year. And then the 28th, we had a little crafternoon. My best friend came over and we were all coloring and playing with our new toys. picture of the craft or math, as my sister calls it, after you've made a big mess. These are some of the decorations we were making using the embossing set that my sister got me and the alcohol markers. That was very fun. 29th, we had a big snowstorm again, so some pictures of that. This is some cars in my parking lot. I just thought they looked like little ladybugs or something with their antennas up, so I thought they were funny. And then the 30th was a sad day and a happy day. Sad day because my sister went home, so I just did a little thing about that. And it was a happy day because we adopted a new cat. Her name was Stella, and she's very, very cute. It turned out we couldn't keep her. We actually gave her to a friend of mine. She couldn't get along with my 2 existing cats, but she's in a wonderful, loving home, and I still get to visit her, so it worked out all right. And then New Year's. I never make a big deal of New Year's, honestly. And I realized after I got home from New Year's Eve, we just went to a friend's house and we played Cards Against Humanity. I had forgotten to take any pictures at all. So I just did a nice, I used this page to journal instead, to talk a little bit about, I did talk about what we did that night, but then I put this little blurb here, which is just a bit about the year in general. And I found a picture online of a card that I won my first point with. So I did have something for a picture. So my last section in the book is, I called it Recipe for Christmas. Again, with the running out of alphas, I couldn't find a lot of words. My sister came up with this one. I did a little section on just like the logistics of Christmas, because again, I never keep track of that kind of stuff. So just wanted to have kind of just a section to document everything. So this is again one of the dividers. I covered it up with a sheet of paper and did some embellishments. So on the back, this is my first time doing something like this. This is a card my grandparents had given me. And watch me not be able to undo this now. So I cut the card up a little bit, and this was a flap that used to cover that, so I just cut it and stuck it down there. And again, wrote a little bit about everything that goes into Christmas and why I wanted to remember it. And that's the back flap. So you can see it was a card signed by my nanny and grampy, so I just left their signature there. So I have these sheets that are gifts given and gifts received. My sister sent me these, so I just made a list of everything I gave people and everything I got, because again, I never really do that. I never have a full list. This was the tag my sister had sent me with these pages, so again, I saved that. This is the tag that I put on the advent calendar. I kind of repurposed. This was one of the interactive elements. It was this envelope and it had these tags in it, and there were 5 little tags, and I couldn't think of anything to do by themselves, so I just used them for little note cards instead and used the envelope. And remember, I talked about that puzzle before. I took a picture of all the times we have recorded. So again, just so I have that record of all these little things that go into Christmas. I drove and I drove. I kept track of how many kilometers I put on the car. By the time we drive to Moncton and I pick up Jackie and John at the airport and all the shopping and all the running around, I just decided I wanted to know, how much do I actually do? 1,089 kilometers. That's a lot of driving. And then the really scary one, I totaled up how much I spent. Whew. That made me cringe a little bit, and that's a stack of all the receipts. But again, I have nothing to compare this to. I've never totaled it up before. I just kind of shop now, pay the Visa later, and I've never totaled it up. So now I know, and I can compare next year. And then the last thing I did was I just printed out all the recipes that I used for Christmas, all the things that I make. Most of these are family recipes or things I've been making for years. This Christmas cake my mother has made since we were kids. This is the nuts and bolts that my dad taught me how to make. I make spice cakes for those baskets that we do. And this is a special jam I make for the Christmas baskets too. So I just, again, wanted to have that all in one place. And then there's my back cover. I believe next year will be even better. And I bet it will. And I'm going to keep track of it again next year. So there we are. That is the completed December daily. Thank you so much for watching. I know this one's a little bit long, so I appreciate you viewing.